Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining everybody for another Whiskey Wednesday, and quite the special Whiskey Wednesday. It's not often that we have the chance to do this, but we are going to do an interview tonight with the CEO of Keeper's Quest, who, within their brand's portfolio, has Silver Springs Rye, which is a rye we have been talking about quite a bit since the summer, thanks to our friend, Brutally Honest Bourbon. Ever since we had Brandon on, he sent us quite down the rabbit hole, and that rabbit hole really comes to the end right here as we pick a single barrel live, as we get to know the brand more. So thank you for joining today, whiskey friends. Let's kick off the show. All right. Well, we are going to launch straight into things, everybody. So no super chat giveaways or anything like that tonight. We are going to keep tonight nice and lean. The only little bit of housekeeping I do have to say is that we do have the link for the Copper and Cask bourbon, the Divine Dram. Once again, that's a very short barrel, but we do plan to launch that, I think, on Friday. But keep an eye on Patreon for more official news on that. So, without further ado, let's bring on the rest of our panel. Kelsey, how excited are you to go through these samples tonight?
Hey, hello again, whiskey friends. Man, I've been super excited since I tried this rye, and I knew I would be after hearing what you said about it, because I, just like you, am a fan of this type of a profile. This is such a unique profile for a rye whiskey, but it's one that is satiating. It's one that makes you want to keep drinking it and go back to it. So been a pleasure communicating with Ed and getting him on and getting him lined out to come on as well. And so I'm ready to get into some whiskey. We've got a control pour of another barrel to kind of get our palates warmed up. And then I know that D-Rail here will be excited as well. So let's bring him on. What do you think, D?
Oh, geez. In all honesty, probably one of the most excited picks that I kind of been looking forward to. Not even going to lie. And it's not because you're backstage, Ed, either, man. Like, honestly, like, if you got our first impressions when we tried this thing, oh, my goodness. Like, this stuff blew us away. And, you know, like I said, just the value, too, on top of the quality, right, is just ridiculous. So, yeah, I am super excited. Can't wait to dive into these. The barrel that we have over here, which is one of the sister barrels to one of these, has just been phenomenal. So I just literally, it's like, I just want to like grab them and like drink already, but we'll take it slow, really taste through this. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't really talk too much more about this. We've done that over the past probably 2 months of trying this, like just, you know, getting it into people's hands and having them try it.
Yep.
Very, very excited, if you can't tell.
And while we are here tonight, and we will be getting to know Ed a bit more with our community, we know in a private watch party, listening to this right now, it's Big Vic and the Turks who also have these samples. We also gave them to Dusty Dan, who is going to be catching up on them. So this will be a collaboration pick between Hello Again Whiskey Friends, Big Vic, Drifting Drams, and Dusty Dan. All right. Kelsey, Darrell, anything else to hit upon before we pull Ed on?
I don't think so. Just want to remind everybody, if you hadn't seen the post on Patreon from last week about the pairings for the Haze Gray, please go check that out on Patreon. Gives you a list of sticks of to pair with our picks if you have our picks. And then also just go shoot Rue a message if there's anything you want to buy, that you can just shoot him a message, and love to get his brand out as well, because it was such a great interview with them last week. So make sure you check out the Patreon if you haven't.
Well, Kelsey, why don't you do the honors of the intro for Ed, since you set this all up for us?
Sure. So, guys, it's a pleasure to have Ed with us. He is the CEO of Silver Springs and a few other companies that we'll get to talk about.
Keeper's Quest brands.
Keeper's Quest.
Yep.
And also, it's really interesting that we get to talk about some other whiskeys or spirits that he is a part of, that he's super excited about, that we knew about the brands, but we'll get into more of that tonight. So without further ado, Ed, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate being here.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for us, at least. We've been anxious and itching to try more and more of this product. Not only is it incredible whiskey, it's priced affordably, and it makes me want to keep drinking it. I don't feel bad when I drink it because I keep going back to it and getting more of it. Hence Jeff buying 18 bottles of it.
Yeah, well, technically I'm up to 20 bottles if we're
Jeff,
actually
you're
counting,
muted.
but no one should count. Oh, am I muted?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Am I good? Okay.
I can't hear him.
Oh, you
no?
can't hear Jeff?
No, I can't hear you, Jeff. Sorry.
That
You're
is
muted.
interesting.
I
Well,
was working backstage for us. I'm not sure what's different. I can hear him on. You can hear him as well, right, Kelsey?
Yeah.
I'll just refresh. I'll be right back. When all else fails, just reboot, right?
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna kick him out. See
We'll
if he
kick him out and
can
come
join
back.
back in.
Yeah, sorry.
Um, So we've got 3 samples here that Ed has sent over, barrel numbers ranging from 9951, 9943, and 7444. And we have our control pour of 995
Zero.
So
Yeah.
we've got a sister barrel to one of these, which I think is the first one we'll start with eventually down the road. But before we get into the samples, we want to hear a little bit more about you, Ed, and how did you come into the whiskey business, and tell us more about Keeper's Quest and some of the other brands that are in your portfolio, as well as like J.W. Kelly and some of these other brands that you are repping for and pulling in some great whiskey for. So I'll hand it over to you. You can kind of just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, so there really are 2 companies, and Keeper's Quest was started as an import company, primarily of single malt Scotch. I've always been a super fan of single malt Scotch. In fact, in 2011, I was inducted into the Keepers of the Quake. Keepers of the Quake is an organization over in Scotland that will honor people that have been in the Scotch whiskey business. You have to be in it at least 10 years before you can even apply. And then you have to give them a thesis, and you have to tell them what you've done for Scotch whiskey, and either they'll accept you or they reject you. But I was inducted in 2011, so very proud of that.
That's awesome.
But the industry itself, obviously Scotch whiskey business is huge worldwide. And I've always enjoyed it, always loved it, didn't really understand it until I really started to study it and get into it. And this goes way, way back. You asked me how long I've been in the business. I celebrated 50 years 2 years ago.
Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Congrats.
And still making it. I'll tell you what, good whiskey will do you really good. I mean, it takes care of you.
Yep.
In many ways.
In many ways, that's right. So anyway, the 2 companies, Keeper's Quest, which is the import company, and that also handles all the licenses. So it's an S corp, and we do all the licensing under the Keeper's Quest, which is a lot of licenses for every state, all the TTB approvals, all the stuff. The rigmaroles you have to go through is unbelievable. Under that then comes J.W. Kelly. That's an LLC. We treat that as a separate company.
Okay.
And we do that because of the complexity of a lot of states will be what we call franchise states. Okay. In a heavy franchise state, like Georgia, Tennessee, Kansas, there's several of them. Once you assign a brand to a distributor, that's it. That's their brand for the rest of their lives, as compared to a non-franchise state. So that's one of the reasons we created the two separate entities, if you will. So actually, J.W. Kelly, he was actually a guy who was born over in Ireland. When he was 18 years old, he hopped on a vessel, came over, landed in New York, stayed in New York for a little while, and wound up down in Nashville during the Civil War, and he became a rectifier. And of course, a rectifier is a person that they don't distill it; they just blend it together and package it up. And he was selling it to the soldiers occupying the city occupying Nashville during the Civil War. Well, in 1866, he'd lent some money to a friend who'd moved to Chattanooga. So he decided to go to Chattanooga to collect this debt. The guy couldn't pay him, so he decided to stay down there, opened up a shop, and opened up the first distillery called Deep Springs Distillery on Broad Street, right down on Broad Street here, after the Civil War in 1866. So he was the first distiller after the Civil War.
Wow.
That all went on for a while, and all of a sudden, because it became so popular, a lot of other distillers came into Chattanooga. Well, you have to remember, Chattanooga at that time was nothing but a tent town. It was completely destroyed by the war. So there was really nothing left. So he got down here. There was, a few buildings here and there, opened up the distillery. That started industry coming back into the city. All of a sudden, then R.M. Rose comes in, Betterton, a bunch of other distillers. And then some brewers started coming in. One big brewery from Cincinnati moved in. That all started bringing the city back after the Civil War. There's a whole history here of what happened, and it's quite amazing, really is. So when we discovered the brand J.W. Kelly, that became available. It lost its certification, so we went ahead and registered the label, did all the stuff you have to do, and resurrected the brand. More importantly, what I wanted to do was see if we could mimic the actual formulas that he was using way back in the 1866. And we did find some recipes. So our bourbon is following that recipe, which is a very high corn mash bill. Anyway, don't want to bore you with any more.
No, you're not.
No, we love all this.
This is intriguing.
Well, yeah, it was quite an endeavor, and more importantly, we hope and we think that we've maintained his legacy, because he was producing a lot of different brands. Silver Springs is actually one of them that he owned. He also owned Melrose. He also owned Old Milford. He also did, there was 4 or 5 other brands. He had a gin. It was called, I'm trying to remember the name now. It was called Split Pine Gin. You can only imagine what that tasted
like a pine tree.
Probably, yeah.
That's what I think typically with gin.
Well, we haven't done that one yet. I think we're going to hold off on that a bit. But all of a sudden, the Silver Springs came up, and we wanted to do something with the label. And we decided to do a rye. And I've got a good friend up in Kentucky who is a good friend of mine who decided that, okay, he'll make the rye with us. And it was our mash bill. And I told him I wanted corn in it. And he looked at me like I had 5 heads. And I said, let's just try it. Let's try it and see what happens. He said, Ed, and that's a crazy mash bill. And I said, okay, fine. Anyhow, they went ahead and did it. The one thing he talked me into, though, was to buying the super expensive barrels from, can't think of it.
From Kelvin, or who we getting from?
From Lebanon.
Oh, Lebanon, Tennessee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Independent Stave, is that?
Independent States.
There we go.
I just lost the name for a second.
No, you're good.
Anyway, and I said, but they were quite a bit more expensive barrels. And I said, really? And he said, Ed, trust me, you won't be sorry. and he was absolutely right. So it was a number one char light toast, and of course that's what gives you all of that caramel. That's what we're looking for. All of that wonderful sweet caramel, butterscotch, all that stuff.
Okay.
You've tasted it, so I don't have to
Yeah,
tell you.
the viscosity on this stuff is crazy. I
It's
mean,
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff showed us the bottle when he first got it, turned it upside down, and went back over, and you could just see the legs.
Yeah, you
just
can
strip
see the
down.
yeah, you can see like this oil halo go down the bottle. I've never seen that before.
Like it just sits at the top. My glass
Well,
is a little dirty now.
You know, I'd like to tell you that it's because of the stills. It's not. Actually, in single malt Scotch, you know, of course, single malt Scotch has to be distilled with pot stills. That's the only way you can do it, right? You can't do it continuous still. And that's what gives you your viscosity. So there's basically three reasons for copper pot stills. Number one, copper is the best transfer of heat. Everybody knows that, right?
Mhm.
Number two, there's trace elements of copper that actually go into the distillant that help us in the aging process in the barrels. Number three, copper is the best cleaner, if you will. So as copper will pull off heavy sulfurs and acids. So if you have a still that's really tall, a very tall still, you're going to get a very clean, light spirit. If you have a still that's really short, dumpy still, you'll get all that oily creaminess. And so that's going to give you the effect of that mouth feel that you get from your various malts. And the problem with it is my buddy up in Kentucky is using continuous still. So I can't tell you that it came from the still. The viscousness really came from the mash bill and the barrels.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
And
it's one
the
thing.
mash bill, for those that don't know, is 65% rye,
Right.
20% malted barley, and then 15% corn.
Yep.
So that's the unique mash bill you're referring to.
Mhm.
Yep. And like I said, when I told him that was a mash bill I want, he looked at me funny.
It all worked out, though. I'll tell you that.
It worked out really well. Actually, I've got a good friend of mine in Georgia that's doing my bourbon now, and I gave him the mash bill for the J.W. Kelly bourbon, and again he looked at me kind of strange, but he pulled it off the still, the white dog off the still, and he tasted it. He called me up and he said, "Ed, this stuff is really good." I said, "Sir, I appreciate that. No, you can't have the mash bill."
That's funny.
That's funny. That's great. I mean, it's been really interesting to see a lot more openness, at least from the bourbon drinkers' side, to rye whiskey within the last 5 years, especially.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is everybody kind of has pre-connotations when they drink something, whether it says rye or bourbon. But what's really interesting about this particular one is that all of those connotations that at least are in my mind about a rye whiskey went out the moment I tasted it, because it's unlike any other rye whiskey I've ever tasted. And it's approachable, but it's also complex. It's just got a lot going on with helping kind of continue that rye year of the rye. Like I think was it 2 years ago, Jeff, or 1 year ago, when we had all of those ryes in our final?
Yeah, that was last year. But just as you said, Kelsey, it feels like the momentum over the last 5 years has really mounted, as so many people, their definition of rye was just MGP rye 95.5. But that is not rye whiskey. Rye whiskey runs that whole gamut from 51% rye all the way up to 100% rye.
Yeah.
And people are willing to explore it now, that so many other brands have kind of knocked down that door. So that it has been exciting seeing that category bloom, and then even people now experimenting with wheat in the mash bill with a rye, which I think is intriguing. So yeah, very excited to see this expansion of the rye category continue.
I think it's going to grow. I think it's really going to grow. One of, you know, with me, of course, you know my love for single malt Scotch. You have such a huge variety of flavors in that category. You know, when you get to rye, you're almost heading in that same direction. You know, it's got such a big, huge profile of flavor that you can get out of a rye that you really can't get out of bourbon.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's why I really like rye. I mean, for me, that's my preference.
It makes a lot more sense that the profile coming from a Scotch background and then tasting some of these profiles and knowing, okay, this makes way more sense knowing that you're a Scotch malt whiskey guy, and then tasting these profiles makes way more sense now. Because you get, you got the space sides that are super fruity. You got your islas that are super peaty.
Yep.
It's just really interesting. And what's cool about this is I haven't played with water with this particular rye, but I know, especially in single malt scotches, a drop of water will absolutely change the complete profile in scotch to a point where you can just sit with that thing for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and get all kinds of notes. Whereas a bourbon, you're looking at maybe 5, 6, 7, sometimes at the high end. And so it's really interesting, the complexity of this particular profile. So let's get
I think Darrell had one question here. I think you're trying to jump in, Darrell.
It was just a question from chat. They were just asking, what's the typical age on these Silver Spring Ryes?
So these are now moving into 8 years. This month it will turn 8 years.
All right.
Yeah. It's and I've had people tell me, well, why don't you put the age on it? Because, well, why don't you call it a straight rye? I was really a lot more interested in the single barrel cast strength version because that's my Scotch background. Okay. That's going back to my Scotch background because that's what we do. We bring in single barrels, cast strength. We don't reduce them. I want it all natural. I don't want to change a thing. And that's what we wind up with this Silver Springs. So should I put an age on it? Yeah, probably. I could do it.
We bought plenty without the age, so you're not doing anything wrong.
Once they taste it, they're want to buy it no matter what if you told me this was 3 years old, I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah.
I think that can give a perceived connotation to a whiskey that just because it says 8 years that it's going to be a certain type of whiskey too. I mean, when we tasted Hard Truth Rye, I don't know if you've tasted their stuff, but at 3 years old, it was crazy. Some of the profiles they were getting on a 3-year-old rye whiskey. So anyway,
that's the benefit of rye.
Yep, exactly. Let's jump into this first one. Ed, we're going to start with 9951 first.
Yep, that's the one I've got lined up. This is 126 proof.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now, Ed, do you have these or do you have notes on these?
I have them right here in front of me.
Oh, nice.
All right. We're right there with you then. Cheers.
Salanjavan.
Slancha. Okay. Oh, shoot.
Mm.
Dude, the nose is darker than the bottle we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more obvious it's a little bit more punchy because the proof difference between the barrel that we tasted was at 122 and this is at 126, but it has more of a depth to it as well.
You know what's interesting about these barrels? So when I told our warehouse manager to pull the samples in our rick house, most of our barrels are about 15 to 20 feet high. Okay. But we do have a section of ricks that are about 40 feet high.
Oh, wow.
These are on the top.
Wow.
And so when he pulled these samples out, he called me up and he said, Ed, these things are coming out really high. Because typically what we're pulling out is about anywhere from 111, 112, 115 range. And he said, these are running really high. And I said, great, perfect.
I'm not mad at that. Dude, look at this though. Oh my God. Look at the legs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Literally just falling down. That's crazy. Wow.
This has
Yeah.
this has a little bit more oak presence to it as well.
Yeah, it does.
To me than the sister barrel that we had of it. The finish is a little bit longer, and it gets more of the rye spice in the middle of your palate on the finish than the previous one to me.
Yeah, this one's more citrus leaning, maybe lemon custard leaning, something like that in the middle of the palate, which balances quite well with that oak profile.
Yeah.
Talking about our bottle or the sample?
The sample, 9951.
Oh, crap. I haven't took a sip yet.
Yeah, man, that's
that okay. I added just a little bit of water, and now that nose is finally opening up because that was pretty tight.
Mm-hmm. We've had these poured for about 40 minutes just to give them time to do, which helps.
Yeah, I just poured mine out of the sample bottle.
But man, again, the viscosity on these things are crazy. It's nuts.
It's like like it's thick, like when you think of like oil, right, versus like the consistency of water. It's like that's how this kind of feels on the tongue. Like it's so much thicker than like just a normal like whiskey that I have. Like it feels thicker. Like that viscosity is crazy. Oh my God.
If you have it, just add a couple of drops of water. I did that to this thing. Wow, did this thing explode? Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna get one of my stoppers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have.
Now we get orange.
Yep.
Orange marmalade. Almonds. Oh my God. This is wild.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of these barrels, and that's why I really wanted to do these single barrel cast strengths. They're all different.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Man, that really opens it up. It gets a lot sweeter too. Even though it was sweet before, it really brings on the nose. It brings a sweetness out in it.
And I'm sure you guys know this, but let me go through it because I explain this when I do my tasting events with customers with single malt. With cast strength especially, if you don't add any water to it, all you're going to get is the alcohol. You won't get the flavors. It's going to be too closed up and tight. And the way I explain this is when distillate comes off a still, especially a copper pot still, goes into these barrels, you're going to get this really closed, tight alcohol. There's a lot of what we refer to as esters. Esters coming off the still, or these oils, that are derived from, in the case of single malt, from barley, right? Well, in the case of rye, obviously we got the rye and the corn and everything else. So these esters are all closed and tight on cast strength products. A little bit of water pops those esters back open. And now you can taste it. It doesn't take a lot of water. It takes a couple of drops. I kind of tell people when we do these tastings, how much water you want to add is really up to you. My partner over in Scotland, he'll fill the glass up to about here. I don't like that much water. Of course, he consumes a lot more alcohol than I do. So, but just a couple of drops is really all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
But man, can you see the difference?
It's amazing the differences. Even on the palate of the profile has changed completely.
Yeah, completely.
It smoothed out the rye spice that you were getting so much of on your palate at the beginning, and just smoothed that completely out. You got all of the flavor notes that you wanted to get out of it, but it's not those prickly rye spice notes coming pounding your tongue.
And you lost.
I felt
you lost the wood tone.
Yeah, you lose some of the oak. Yep.
I was feeling more of that malt even up front. Like it
Yeah.
almost drew out the malt a little bit more too.
Sure.
Man. Well, I'll tell you what. If we were done with the tasting, I would be perfectly happy. But we've got 2 more to go through here.
Heck yeah.
Got a lot of work to do, pal. A lot of
Oh,
work.
geez.
9943, and this one is 126 as well.
Yep.
Darrell's got his hands full. He's got 6 kids.
Like I said, man, I feel for you.
I think he might have figured out what causes that, but we're not quite sure yet. He keeps having kids, and I'm like, Darrell, man, you know what causes this.
Done.
Well, you getting into 9934 or 9943? I mean,
Yeah.
all right.
Cheers.
Cheers again.
Solange Javon.
I'm getting attacked up there, guys.
Is that a bucket head?
Again, the nose is very, very subdued. Completely.
Mhm.
Compared to the first one, it is very much subdued.
The first one has more of like funky oak to it, like that old Rick House funk that I like.
Yeah, this one's kind of more sweeter, not quite shortbread cookie, but something around there. I'm kind of getting more of this like cakiness, breadiness to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting a little bit of that cream note.
I'm going to add just a bit of water.
Man. What type of cream, Kelsey?
You know those candies you like that are the butterscotch on the outside and the cream in the middle? Like those soft, chewy ones? Like the inside of that.
Okay.
It's even more so on the palate, almost like a creme brulee, kind of a cream.
Creme brulee, yeah, for sure. Now, when I've added the water, now it's opening up. Now you're getting a nose. Wow.
Ooh. This one's a different ride entirely. I wasn't getting like any of the rye spice. Maybe on the tail end of the finish, but I was just getting this beautiful, soothing sweetness on the front and mid palate.
That brings me. That's really nice on the palate. So it's crazy. So the nose is more dark and like oaky, but the palate is just everything on the opposite side of that. Like it's like you get the oak, but it's fruit forward for me. Like dark berry. I don't even know what's going on in my house.
On the back of the palate, I get baked apples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that entirely. Up front, I was leaning more towards some type of berry, but it broke into some baked apples with some nice bacon spices on them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't it amazing how these casks are so different?
Oh, absolutely. That's
unbelievable.
It's crazy the differences.
But it's also the similarities in them. I mean, a lot of the times we do pick apart the mouthfeel, the length of the finish, the more technical elements. And both of these have all the technical elements, which then gets us more into flavor preferences and things like that. So that'll make things more interesting as we get into debating these.
You know, the big problem that you always have with when you do this, you do single barrels, you're always going to find one that is just spectacular. And the next one is going to be, it's good. You know, it's good, but it's just not like spectacular like that other one was. And unfortunately, when that spectacular one runs out, it's out. It's done.
Yep.
And you're looking for the next one.
Oh man.
We live and die by the single barrel game though, because as long as we continue to find brands like yours and we can kind of keep keep ahead of things. It's always paying for what's in the bottle versus paying for just the marketing and everything. Like I really try to avoid as much as I can anything that's real high priced because I just don't see the value in it. When I can find something like this, that's what always kind of gets me about this whole industry in general. It's I want to find the gems, and a lot of times you find the gems with these single barrels.
Dude.
Well, and I'm a firm believer in that because,
Wow.
I mean, look, there's whiskeys out there that are touted as being the best and the greatest, and they're getting the price for it. I am a firm believer of having something at a fair price, competitive. I've always been that way. And it's, people come back to me and say, Ed, you're not charging nearly enough for this stuff. Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's fine.
I love that answer.
We're fine.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when we started picking barrels a year over a year and a half ago, one of our key components was if we weren't willing to buy a case of it ourselves, we wouldn't pick the bottle or we wouldn't pick the barrel because there's got to be an intrinsic value as well as
Absolutely.
a liking to what the profile is. Something you want to go back to. One thing I keep getting on this particular one, Jeff, is if you took that sugar cookie and covered it with like a straw or a fruit tart, like with a cream, and then the fruit that sits on top of it, that's what that comes across with. You get that sugar cookie kind of breadiness to it, then the cream, and then the fruits on top, especially when you add a little bit of water, that comes out even more so on the nose.
Yeah.
I agree. And to think about that profile you just said in the context of a rye is also really cool.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, people don't think rye is being fruity and creamy and sweet most of the time.
And all of that came from these barrels. I mean, it was the barrels were the secret. That was the key. And again, as I said before, when he told me about the barrels that I needed to do, and he told me the price, I'm going, ooh, are you sure? There are less expensive barrels, but he was right, absolutely correct.
Yeah, it's these both. What's interesting about the first one is when we put water in it, it brought the oak down.
Yep.
And then the second one, I feel like when I put the water in, it brought a little bit of the oak up on the back end of the profile for me. Like I was able to pull more of that oakiness from the profile. So it's interesting between the two, just adding water, what it does to each particular barrel and what it's bringing out. So it's a lot of fun.
Dude, the second one is just, I haven't tasted the third one yet, but dude, if the third one is better than this one, oh my God.
They're all different, Daryl. They're all different.
Oh man, all good though.
And then for context for everyone in chat, as we're going through this, I've got the two other cask poured as well. So I have been comparing to those as control pours. Both samples that we've gone through are better than my control pours. Thus, excitement growing. I'll put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the complexity between the first two samples is really stood out to me between the one barrel that I did for my control pour, the sister barrel, 955 or 9950. It's just there's more of a depth of flavor profile in both of these two samples than that particular barrel.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of these are higher proof.
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's about 4 points higher
right
on the first two. And then the last one that we haven't tried yet is 129. So it's it's 7 points higher. So I'm excited to get into that one. And the color difference on this particular one is way, way darker comparatively to the first two samples.
Yeah, this one is noticeably darker as you get these three different views, three different cameras. I mean, you can just see
glass, like crazy halo. It's
it's going to get destroyed. That glass is just going to get destroyed.
It's what we refer to as a big boy.
Yeah. So this will be barrel 7744, and this one, guys, if you're following along, is the 129 proof. So
Whew. Similar nose to the second one, I think, though. More in that dark lean and not so much citrus forward.
Mm.
Actually, kind of like a
Oh, geez.
version of ours, but just picked up a lot.
Mm.
Really dark. Oh man.
This is balanced,
Mm-hmm.
beautifully balanced. Just on the
The
nose.
the oak profile on this one takes me aback a little bit. I like that a lot on first approach. I'm gonna try to break this down a little bit, but that one hit me in the feel spot, guys, I must say.
Well, I can tell you between the first three, like just off the first sip,
Sorry.
holy cow.
Darrell, hide your emotions.
I am just like blown away by this third one because
Yeah.
it's got everything that you like about 1 and 2, but everything else is just kind of well-rounded. The mouthfeel is even a little bit better on this particular one. On this third sample, it's more velvety to me, even though as viscous as the first two were, the mouth feels softer. It comes across, even at a higher proof, to me, it comes across as closer to those 122 proofs. I don't get a lot of alcohol on this one either.
I'll be honest with you. When we drew these samples, I didn't taste them. Okay, I wanted to wait to do it with you guys.
Oh wow.
But when I saw the samples and I saw the proofs, I figured this would be the one that wouldn't be the best. I really figured this one was going to be wasn't going to work out.
The higher proof one you're speaking of, right, Ed?
Right?
After tasting it, what do you think, Ed?
I was wrong.
It's a hitter, man. Good gracious,
Man, oh man, is this good?
I just took that first sip, and that wasn't scripted, guys. I just couldn't hold it. Oh my god.
I haven't even tasted it yet. I'll be honest. I am
Are you
just fine with the
serious?
nose right now. No, I love this nose.
dude!
Yeah.
Freaking taste this. You're gonna
Oh,
go.
yeah.
The
Crazy.
oak, there's like a little bit of like a baker's chocolate on it. I don't even know. Gosh, this one would be tough to even call a rye blind. I mean, it's got a little spice there, but geez.
All of these barrels lean towards a bourbon style. Yes,
Yes.
they all do, which is why I think everybody has been so excited about the Silver Springs. It's well, Kelsey, you said it at the beginning. It's not like rye. This is not like rye.
This thing is crazy. Dude, this barrel, if we choose this, I think would be the best barrel we've ever picked. Dude, this is stupid.
Darrell, you always fall in love with the next one.
No, here's the thing. I will say this, Darrell. I will say this: as complex as the Divine Saint is that we are about to release,
This is better than that.
this
It's
is
very
this is
similar.
right up there with it, or not better. It's crazy.
Oh, geez. Ed, what have you're breaking us, Ed, in real time here.
And that barrel that we're talking about was 52 bottles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a super short barrel, and so everything was super concentrated. So to be able to get this type of, geez, Louise, concentrate flavor.
What are we thinking yields are, if you know, Ed, on the three of them? Roughly. It doesn't have to be.
You're going to get probably about 130 bottles.
Oh, good. Oh, that's perfect, right? Coming off of this short barrel with copper and cast to get something that's this good with an actual amount of bottles. Holy.
I don't even think that there's a question in my mind, guys, at all.
I'm locked.
Well, I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, I want you to buy barrel number 1. I'm kidding.
Ed's going to take that third barrel home and be like, that one was not there.
Yeah. I think
Was that the one that was in the back corner over there?
It's going to wind up over in the corner somewhere.
Yeah. But man alive, that is incredible. The proof. What's interesting about this is that the proof at 129.
Oh my god, that's
the way the mouthfeel is on it. if I was doing that blind, I probably wouldn't have guessed higher than 115, 116.
Yeah.
I think it hits hard with the flavor, but you don't get like the alcohol
Yeah,
vapor,
the fruit
right?
point,
Like it's
the fruit-
flavor punch. As soon as you taste it, it just erupts on your mouth, right? So I usually correlate like proof to that, but it doesn't drink super hot.
Jeezy Pete, I'm still tasting it. Are you guys getting like a lovely dark cherry note on this one? I'm trying to describe the fruits on this, but it's totally different than the first two
Dude, mine
or
was so
any of the
good.
other ones.
Look at the lack of notes for the third one. I just said wow on the palate and didn't write anything.
I will
Like,
say, Jeff,
literally.
it's more of like a fruit. If I was going to say this, there was a time when I tasted my first Coy Hill and it was 143.7. The best way I could describe it is if you took blackberries, raspberries, and some other type of really dark fruit and made a compote and cooked it down, and it had all of those really rich berry notes. That's the best thing that I do. And I get a little bit of that, a little bit of cocoa, maybe even a little bit of chocolate note with it, but it's very dark.
Mhm.
I feel like the other two were a little bit brighter, a little bit more citrus leaning. I wouldn't say citrusy, but citrus leaning. And this one is just a flavor bomb from get go, from the nose all the way through to the palate.
So I'm going to
Oh,
go back.
gosh.
I'm going to go back to my Scotch descriptions. I get marzipan.
Oh yeah, I can see that. For those non-Scotch drinkers that don't listen to Fred Minnick, that's almond. Okay.
I get almond on the nose.
I can't even talk. This thing is just attacking me in all the best ways. Katie Turk called it out in our text thread, and I agree with her too. Root beer candy. I get that.
Oh,
I get that note as well. I understand her angle on that one. But yeah, she's saying root beer candy, red fruits, raspberry, citrus oil, warming, and rye spice. Everyone in our background is on this one too. So
Yeah, it's kind of unanimous. I think that's
You-
wow.
You sure you don't want number one?
I'm positive you can't get me to take number one after tasting number three. I saved myself a little bit left so I can go back and enjoy it later.
Mine's
Cool.
in the glass. I want to enjoy it now.
you've broken me. I don't even know how I can talk through this, Ed. You've broken me tonight. This is amazing.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, what I'm really happy about is the fact that we're doing something to honor J.W. Kelly, and the fact that he, came over, got things started. We tried to match what he was doing, and I hope we're getting close.
Well, I from
What
my
do you got here,
perspective, you're doing them right. I can't wait to taste the bourbons that you're doing as well.
They're pretty good.
I'll be interested to taste some of those in the future as well, because man, if it's anywhere near this type of quality of flavor profile and the experience in itself, I mean, just the complexity of the experience. This line's like right up Jeff's alley, right up my alley, profile wise on this particular one. But man, alive.
Maybe at some time we can do a single barrel, single malt Scotch thing. I'll bet I can find one to blow you away.
Oh, I bet you could too. That's Jeff and I both started out in Scotch. Jeff tried to kill me one time when we were doing Zooms during COVID, and I found out that I'm allergic to peat, and I did not know that. And we were doing a whole flight from Isla, and about halfway through that flight, he said I turned green and I had to go up and start throwing up. I mean, I got violently ill.
Yeah.
Oh,
From
wow.
that point on, I realized I'm allergic to peat. That's what it was. I wasn't drinking a whole lot at that night at all. It was just the fact that it was peated. So, but that's where Jeff and I both started out, and I have a that.
It's interesting because one of the casts that we brought in just recently, you talk about peat. So, are you familiar with Bunnahabhain?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Typically, a very lightly peated one, right? They don't do heavy stuff. But this particular cask was unpeated, aged in a Margaux wine cask.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you ought to see this thing.
Oh, I
Man,
bet. Wow.
yeah.
And you're bringing Bunnahabhain in at cast strength like that?
Cast strength. I think it was 59%. I think.
Wow.
Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah. So
the Bunnahabhain,
we can do
12
one of these and have some fun.
Well, here's the other thing. We have really good friends that live just north of Jackson, and I'm at their house quite a bit, and we may just have to make a trip over to come see you in Chattanooga
Come on down.
and have some fun tasting and going through some stuff, man. Wow, that would be fun.
We have a few. Anyway,
Turkapalooza.
It sounds like it's number 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's
You're sure.
7744.
You're absolutely sure.
Yeah, we need that.
Underline exclamation point.
Oh,
I might just go to bed after this. Like, there's no way anything else today is going to eclipse what just happened the last 10 minutes here. This is just, I don't even want to drink any more of it. I want to just savor that. Wow. That one floored me. That defied all expectations on so many levels. I'm nerding out in my head. I will calm down in just a moment.
So, Ed, as Jeff's going to take a moment to think about that, tell us more about some of the other things in your portfolio that we were talking about backstage and regarding single malt Scotch and and you kind of mentioned a little bit, hinted at it here and there, but tell us a little bit more about what that side of the business looks like.
Well, if most people are not familiar with what an independent bottler does, that's what we do. So the company is called Murray McDavid, and Murray McDavid is it's a pretty big company. My wife and I had the pleasure of going over to Scotland to view their warehouses. Wow, you talk about they're sitting on probably about 8,000 to 9,000 casks of single malt whiskey at any one time.
Wow.
So what an independent bottler does is to get single malts that you can't get. Now, quickly explain that. There's about 200 distilleries over in Scotland that are producing single malt Scotch. All right, they're all owned by the big boys: Diageo, Pernod Ricard, Brown-Forman, Highland Distillers, so on and so forth. And they're running these distilleries to provide malt for the blends to go into Johnny Walker, Dewar's, J&B, Cutty Sark, whatever it happens to be. To get some of those malts, you can't get them. They're not available. They don't bottle them up under their own label. That's the job of an independent bottler. And that's exactly what we do. Now, in the case of this Bunnahabhain, it's already available as a single malt on the market, right? You can buy Bunnahabhain. Well, not this one, not this particular cask, because it's unpeated, aged in a Margaux wine cask, which is completely different than anything else available. And it's only one barrel. That's it. So there was one barrel of this particular Bunnahabhain. I think there was 250 bottles that came out of it.
Wow.
That's it for the US. That's it. And that's what we do. But we do this on a regular basis.
Right.
I'm always bringing in, I've got an order coming in right now that's on the water. I'm bringing in a Glentockers. Glentockers is another Speyside malt. Again, you're never going to get. It's part of the blends. Everybody loves it. But in order to get some Glentockers, you have to go through an independent bottler. So maybe on our next show, we can taste out that Glentockers.
I would love that.
I'm all for it.
I would love that as well.
That sounds awesome.
To be
And it's really interesting to see all. I mean, I'm sure you've got stories and 50 years worth of experience to share, but as far as what the industry has looked like when you first got into it,
oh my God,
until now, I mean, I can't even fathom just the ups and downs and all of that, between, tariffs and how it's affected prices and everything, especially with Scotch. What do you feel like, in your opinion, in your experience, for Scotch, on the Scotch side of things? Do you still see that? I know the bourbon's kind of plateaued and maybe gone down a little bit the last year. Do you still see Scotch in an upward trajectory, or you see it plateaued? How do you see the Scotch market going?
It's flat to down just a little bit, but you know we're being told, Generation Z is not drinking and they're concerned about health and all this stuff. Durrell, I will use you as an example.
Okay.
All you're going to have to do is have when they finally grow up and have their kids, they'll figure it out.
I had a lot of practice.
Uh,
Still figuring it out, though.
Scotch whiskey is such an old beverage of choice. It's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I don't see it ever going away.
Right.
Is there a lull? Yeah, probably. Will it come back? Yeah, I think so. And again, not that I don't love my J.W. Kelly bourbon. It's great. Or the Silver Springs Rye. It's great. That's wonderful. But you don't get the complexity of flavors that you get in Scotch. I mean, it's just everything from the lowlands all the way up to the highlands, to Speyside, to the islands, to Isla, and everything else in between. It's all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So what you have to do, you've got to find the one that you like.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Kelsey, it's not Isla whiskey.
No, it's definitely not
I like the smell of peat, but it does not like me.
What I tell people
though is, we, well, at least my area where I've been exposed to, I don't have access to cask strength whiskey in Scotch or Irish whiskey, for that fact, to be real honest.
Yeah.
Most people that are generally exposed and what they see in the stores, they don't get a chance to try cask strength whiskey from Scotland. And we have a good friend who's super into Irish whiskey, and she got us some samples of some cask strength Irish whiskey, and it's totally changed my opinion about Irish whiskey, but also just the variations within Irish whiskey at cask strength is crazy.
Oh yeah, sure. I tell people though, people who don't like Isla whiskey, I'm okay with that. Saves more for me.
Yeah.
We're good.
No.
We're good.
I'm in that boat. I can't do the stuff, but I do love Scotch, and that's where I started too. But yeah, I can't.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one that can do the peat. But I'm right with you, Ed. Give me all of it.
Oh,
Save it for you and I. These two are out.
Yeah.
Well, Ed, thank you so much for coming on. Again, my apologies about the time issues earlier.
No worries.
But man, thank you so much for these. We're looking forward to moving forward with this particular pick. And for those that are not on Patreon yet, I'm telling you, if you're not and you miss out on this, you are going to hate yourself when you taste it. If you miss out on this pick, you have no reason to miss out on this pick. Let's just say there'll be plenty of bottles, great whiskey, great price.
Right.
So thank you for coming on, Ed. Is there anything else that you wanted to say or talk about that you didn't get to talk about tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what. So you opened it up, so I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I always end my tasting events with a little Scottish philosophy of life, and it goes like this. A horse and a mule live 30 years. They never learn of wine or beers. The goat and sheep at 20 die. They never taste of Scotch or rye. The cow drinks water by the ton. At 18 years, she's nearly done. The cat in milk and water soaks. 12 short years, she up and croaks. The modest, sober, bone-dry hen lays eggs for nogs, then dies at 10. All animals are strictly dry. They sinlessly live and swiftly die. And sinful, ginful, rum-soaked men live nigh to tell of 70 years plus 10. And some of us, the mighty few, stay pickled till we're 92.
Ah,
So long, Jabat.
Cheers. Cheers.
perfect. Cheers, everybody. And with that, we will bid everybody adieu. Thank you very much, Ed. Everybody, it's time to go head over to Jason's over at the Mash and Drum, and we'll catch you on the next Whiskey Wednesday.
Mm, mm, mm.
Thanks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.